What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel if you didn't know. So today's video is going to be a quick little isolation video. This isn't necessarily how you isolate, but what I want to show you guys is how to actually practice your isolation when you don't actually have a model. You definitely want to make sure that you're able to practice before you jump onto your client. So these are a couple tips on how to practice your isolation on your mannequin head. Okay, so before we jump into this, I do want to mention, I know I have a lot of beginners out there, and I want to say that if you guys are interested in any type of training, I offer virtual training for anyone in the States, because I know a lot of you guys are in the States and you worry about this, but I do offer virtual training. And if you guys are interested, you can definitely hit the link in my description. If you check out our site at flourishlashes.com, you can inquire there or email me directly or even hit me up on Instagram. Follow me on my personal Instagram at Ariella. It'll be in the description below. Okay, so this is my mannequin head here. Sorry, she's a little dirty, but I just want to show you guys the difference between a mannequin head and how you can kind of work around the unrealistic situation we have here. So I'm going to be using my isolation tweezers from Flourish Lashes. These are the rose gold tweezers. You can definitely find them on our site. That link will be in the description below. So we have our isolation tweezers, and of course we want to make sure that we're isolating our lashes because that is the goal. But this is something I definitely emphasize even when I do my trainings, and it's literally just practicing the isolation as it is. So I know that sometimes it can be a little bit tricky when it comes to isolating, especially because you're going to be working with your opposite hand. I was actually holding my tweezer with my right hand, but when you're right-handed, you're going to be holding your tweezer with your left hand. So this is definitely a practice that takes some time to kind of get familiar with, because honestly, our bodies are not meant to do things that are a little bit unfamiliar. So it does take a little bit of time, a little bit of practice to kind of get the motion right. So when you're going to isolate, you want to make sure that you're not just isolating your lash and letting go. That's where a lot of people fall short, especially when they're putting on lashes on a real client. They kind of just isolate the lashes, they feel good about it, they apply it, and then they're gone. But the real thing is that you want to make sure when you isolate that you can hold that isolation. So let's say I'm finding this lash right here. I'm going to take it and I'm going to hold that isolation. So you want to see if you can hold it for about 10 seconds, because then that time when you're really doing your client, you're going to pick up your lash, dip it into your adhesive, and then go and apply it. So you want to make sure that you can really hold on to that isolation. So when we're going through lashes that are obviously super stuck together, like these guys here, you can see that it is a little bit trickier, especially when you have a lash going in an opposite direction. So looking at this lash here, it's going that way. You want to make sure that you can grab it somewhat from the top and then kind of go down and hold that isolation. So if you can tell, the lash itself is kind of going this way, coming this way, and that would be the real direction of the lash, but I'm isolating it from the side, from an angle, because it's a little bit easier for me to actually hold the isolation that way. If I were to hold the isolation this way, where the lash is actually coming from the root, it makes it a bit harder because I have to kind of bend my wrist in a pretty uncomfortable position. So if I can grab the lash from the top and then go down and kind of work with the natural lash, then I'm actually able to place the extension easier and knowing where the lash is actually isolated without losing the isolation. Okay, so when it comes to actually practicing, it is a little bit of an unrealistic experience when you are practicing on a mannequin head. So there are a couple things that you want to do to ensure you get the right practice from your mannequin head that translates to your real life model. So there are a couple tips to make sure that you can kind of transition smoothly, because sometimes when you're isolating on a mannequin head, the lashes seem to be isolated already, or they're a little bit more spread out. So you want to take certain techniques and certain practices that you can definitely translate into your real life client. So another great tip, and this is something that you will experience with your real life client, is see here, it's hard to tell, but these lashes at the bottom here are a little bit crisscrossed and they're kind of going in different directions right at the base. So what you want to do here is you want to find the root of the lash and isolate that way. I think a lot of people would kind of come at this lash maybe from the top and isolate like that, but what happens is the actual lash that you are isolating is going in the opposite direction, and then you have these lashes on the side here that are actually kind of crisscrossed at the same time. So see how when I let go, they're going to end up touching the base that you just applied. So what you want to do is single out that lash and kind of find its rightful spot. So what I would do here is see that little gap at the base there, that kind of shows that the lash is going in a different direction. What I'll do is grab my tweezers, of course, because they're precise, that you're able to kind of see where the little gap is, I would kind of find the center. And then what I do is actually do this, and I let the lash naturally open where it has to go. So I'll let it go, and then I see the lash pop out. So then what I'll do is I've already divided that side. So now I'm gonna go ahead on this side and just do the same thing. And then look, I grabbed one lash in the exact same spot it should be, where it needs to kind of be placed. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna grab the one lash, make sure that if I have to move it to the right, I can, because then that way I'm separating it. And then that's the one lash, and I would go ahead and apply. And this way, when I go and let go of my isolation, none of the lashes are gonna crisscross because they are kind of in their own way. Does that make sense? Okay guys, that is it for this video. I hope that it was helpful. I know that it was a little short one. I just kind of want to give you guys these quick little tips that you can work on easily at home. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will be back with something new next time. Bye.